Good evening. This side Rahul Magan here as a Group Chief Executive Officer, Treasury Consulting, and also a venture capitalist. As we speak, Treasury Consulting is a multinational headquartered group based out India, Singapore, and Hong Kong. We do have offices in three parts of the globe, and unlike Ola, Uber, Swiggy, Zomato, Lenskart, Paytm, Delivery, Juice, all these great companies, we are not unicorn, but we are a multi-million valuation company, 100% profitable and cash rich, with zero debt in the books. Not a single dollar is invested by any venture capitalist or private equity firm. Like I promised, Treasury Consulting to be entering in the three fields. Number one, the Islamic banking, which we did. Almost two videos are live, two videos are under editing. B2B enter in the investment banking. Three videos are done. All three are under editing, but they all on the Facebook. And third is the venture capitalist and the private equity world. It's little incorrect that we are not in venture capitalist and the private equity in the world. We are already, like, effective 2018, I'm raising the voice against the practices by SoftBank, Sequoia, and these multiple venture capitalists and the private equity firm who on paper claim to be a unicorn, but the reality is their companies are 100% loss-making companies. That's a separate thing, that the whole system of India is compromised. I repeat, the whole system of India is compromised. Henceforth, hardly few people are raising the voice. Today, I would like to cover a very important topic when it comes to the term sheet. You know, that how to negotiate a term sheet and so on and so forth. So I would like to cover this topic in detail, that how you can negotiate the term sheet. Like I already shot one video. You can refer this video on the term sheet, but let me give you a bit overview again. A term sheet is nothing but a mutually exclusive document. Please stress on a word, mutually exclusive document, whereby one party, who is known as lender, is giving funding to another party, who is generally a startup, under certain terms and conditions. In 99.99% cases, I repeat, in 99.99% cases, these terms and conditions are coercive in nature. Coercive in the sense, startups left with no option but to sign it. As we speak, we are shooting this video on 18th April, and I do have a live example of Byju's, Ola, and many more companies who raising huge debt from the market. Rather, precisely speaking, who raise offshore debt from the market at a minimum funding cost of 6%. You heard me right, 6%. I have already made a video in that regard, so not deliberating more. But guys, venture capitalists are money-minded people. They only believe in money. We have seen the example of Cafe Coffee Day, Mr. Siddhartha, when he committed suicide, and in his suicide note, directly or indirectly, he mentioned the name of two private equity firms. But India is a great country because both private equity firms are still operating. and they would continue to be until otherwise somebody would be challenging them, which who will do. So when you approach a venture capitalist firm or a private equity firm and you ask for funding, then there is a evaluation period. Basically, so I'm creating a hypothetical example. I repeat, I am creating a hypothetical example. So suppose Byju's is contacting KKR, who is a private equity firm, and saying to KKR that I need $1 billion of equity funding. I repeat, Byju's is contacting KKR and asking KKR that I need $1 billion of equity funding. Now, it is not like that Byju's contacted and KKR would be giving them 1 billion like this. Take the check and go. No, they would be doing the due diligence. This due diligence is not a one-night job. It's not a two-night job. It is not a three-night job. It generally takes weeks and sometimes it takes months. Many a times, even after weeks and probably few months, the deal not passed through. At the last moment, it scaled it down, which is definitely a setback for a venture capitalist firm or a private equity firm and also the startup, because the effort was made. Since the effort was made, now it is scaled it down. So definitely a setback. There is hardly any doubt about that. So there is a concept called no shop period. Now, no shop period came from a concept called cooling off period. So first, let me repeat what the hell is cooling off period. You know that I worked as a corporate treasurer for American companies for almost 10 years. I dealt with all foreign banks. In foreign banks, we dealt with relationship managers. Relationship managers comes and go. So I'm not naming any specific relationship manager, but they came and go. So what happened when, suppose you are talking to any foreign bank, JP Morgan, take per se, and you are covering a relationship manager, say Shah Rukh Khan, he's Shah Rukh Khan doesn't mean the Shah Rukh Khan of Bollywood. So we can have n number of Shah Rukh Khans. So Shah Rukh Khan. Now, suppose Shah Rukh Khan quits for whatever reason. Now, and he is joining DBS. So if you are quitting the front office of JP Morgan, of course you would be joining the front office of DBS. Now, Shah Rukh Khan knew a lot of clients of JP Morgan. They knew the strengths of the client. They knew the weaknesses of JP Morgan. So the foreign banks say, okay, Mr. Shah Rukh Khan, we cannot stop you because now you have decided you are going. Okay, please. But there is a cooling off period, which means that the day you are resigning, example today, from the day of resigning till the next 90 days, I repeat, till the next 90 days, you cannot sit on your seat. You cannot book any trade. You cannot speak with the client. You cannot cover the client. You cannot sell or buy derivative on behalf of the client. You cannot speak with the trader. You cannot do anything. What is the logic? The logic is pretty clear and straightforward. The logic is that, via this, JP Morgan trying to make sure that after 3 months, which is 90 days, there would be a lot of changes in the client or as well. This person would leave with obsolete information. So if he's going to continue to deal with the client, that he would have the latest information by the time he would leave. And probably there are higher chances that if he's going to be joining the DBS, he might take the client to the DBS, which is a loss to JP Morgan. But if he's not dealing from the last 90 days, he would have obsolete information. Probably, if he's not sitting on the Reuters, probably not sitting on the Bloomberg, the quality of the knowledge of that trader would come down. Common sense. If you do not use Reuters or Bloomberg daily, you have limited understanding. This cooling off period is not generally 90 days. Sometimes it is 120 days. Sometimes it is 150 days. In many cases, I have not quoting any specific bank name. I have heard it is of 1 year also. So I have heard one case in my career when somebody quitted and he was getting a salary for the whole 1 year, even though he was not working. He was not working. He was getting the salary only because the bank do not want him to reveal the information of the clients to the another bank, because after 1 year the information would be more or less obsolete. Then you can go ahead. So the concept of no shop is came from a concept of a cooling off period. I'm sure that 99% of the people who are watching this video never heard about the cooling off period. In the second part, I would be covering the no shock period more in detail. Welcome to part second of the video. Now, in this, we would be titled the no shock period. So, in the part one, I am done with a concept called cooling off period, basically, from where the no shock period came into the picture. So, now let's take forward with the same example. Byju's is in talks with KKR for $1 billion funding. KKR said, I need 2 months of evaluation. Now, what the hell is a no shock period? In the 2 months of evaluation, KKR would be seeking a hell lot of information from the Byju's. Financial statements, their business prospect, their reverse pitches, their CMA, and many more things. And there is no surety that KKR would be providing $1 billion funding to Byju's. There is no surety about that. But having said that, the no shop period means, suppose the no shop period is 2 months, say 1 month, assuming. In this 1 month, Byju's cannot contact any other private equity or a venture capitalist firm. Why? I tell you. When KKR would be in touch with the Byju's, they would be sharing hell lot of information also. Like this would be the term sheet, this would be the rate of interest, this would be the convertible ratio, this would be the warrant, this would be the type of warrants, this much amount of return we are expecting in another 1 year, and many more information. But if Byju's is in touch with another private equity, say UBS or any other, then Byju's will have ready-made information on which it can negotiate. And this is where the no shock period came into the picture. Because the KKR do not want Byju's to have the ready-made information with the UBS. But there is a catch. Like I said, no shock period is of two types. One is within the deal, when the deal is going on, and one when the deal is done or not done. So same example, KKR would be seeking 2 months for evaluation, whereby from both sides financial information transfer. Of course, they would be signing the NDA and NDS also, NDA, NDS, maybe both, to handle over the transaction. Now, in this 2 months of period, Byju's cannot contact any other private equity firm, Apollo Global, Canadian Pension Fund, Temasek, or anyone in this 2 month period, which is the negotiation period between KKR and Byju's. So this is within negotiation no shop period, which in English is known as exclusive negotiation period. Legal language, exclusive negotiation period. But there is another thing in the picture. Suppose after 2 months, the deal not done. KKR saying, I'm not happy what Byju's are offering. So I'm sorry, we cannot go with the deal. In that regard, Byju's, if there is a no shop period, which means that Byju's cannot be in touch with any other private equity or a venture capitalist firm after 2 months of that deal, which means the 2 months of the negotiation failed. And now, after 2 months of that negotiation, Byju's cannot be in touch with any private equity firm. Why? Because so much information is exchanged between them, and probably some part of the information is confidential from the KKR side, which KKR do not want Byju's to share immediately, just like a cooling off period. Now, when it comes to the no shop period, we need to understand one thing, that startups should be very careful when they are negotiating the no shop period. In many cases, startups signed a long no shop period, 6 months, 7 months, some cases quarter, minimum quarter, which is 3 months. Now, what happens? Any eventuality came, COVID, maybe some action of God, probably any other geopolitical event, just like we are having Russia, Ukraine, probably the default of the debt, and many such things. In these eventualities, what would happen? The startup, especially the cash guzzlers. Cash guzzlers means those who are having huge requirement of the cash. Zomato, Paytm, Ola, Uber, Swiggy, Lenskart, Byju's, and all. They and many more. They are cash guzzlers. They need a huge capital. For them, if they are signing a no shop period of a quarter and assuming the deal not went through, in that eventuality, they are nowhere. Because they cannot negotiate with another venture capitalist, because legally they signed a contract. And the deal which they were trying with other venture capitalists not done through. Now, in these eventualities, they need cash, which they do not have. Now, what to done? Venture debt. Expensive venture debt, which comes 1%, which comes 5%, 6%, 7%, 8%, 9%, in many cases more than 10%. So theoretically speaking, it comes at a low cost, but practically speaking, it came higher. And if startups do not negotiate the no shop period, which happens many times, startups do not negotiate no shop period. In that sense, venture capitalist or a private equity firm who was in the picture, basically negotiating with that startup, would be ruling the way they wanted to. Henceforth, the no shop period in a term sheet is very important. But unfortunately, we all understand that the startup are having very limited knowledge as far as the legality is concerned. We have seen ample of examples. I repeat, we have seen ample of examples whereby the startups lost because they were not having the cash. If you look at Google, You are having so many examples that the startups closed because they were not having the cash. And why? The legality of the contract, which is known as term sheet, not signed appropriately. So when you initiate a startup, suppose you got the Series A or a seed funding of 5 million, you're very happy without even doing the detailed due diligence, you just sign it out. And end result, you lost it. You simply lost it. And I'm sure that the startups, those who are watching this video, most of them even not aware that the no shop period came from the cooling period in the world of investment or in the world of merchant banking. This is how it works. So please take a note of that. Probably in the next video, I would be talking about the pre-money valuation, and I would be talking about post-money valuation, and I would be talking about safe and many more contracts. But one thing is sure, and that I'm assuring you, that now treasury consulting is in the world of venture capitalist and private equity. And specifically talking the contractual way. Valuation wise, we are already there, but now contractual way. And I'm assuring you, in another 1 year of time, because of course I need time, I cannot cover everything in one night. I would be talking about those issues on which the paid, sold, and corrupt media never talks. And I am going to be exposing all the contractual arrangements that went wrong and that are going wrong. This is Rahul Magan from Treasury Consulting Group. You knew our personal number, you knew my personal number, 9899242978. I repeat, 9899242978. Alternatively, you knew our back office, 9818485155. Thank you very much. Have a great time ahead.